John Titor is a fraud. Kyoma, I want you to be the Messiah. Me? The Messiah? Ludicrous. To think that I would save humanity. If the same thing happens to you again, please contact me once more. That moment will prove that you are the Messiah. Those were Titor's last words before our email conversation ended. But I had no intentions of taking Titor's word at face value. I am not so naive. I am no Messiah. I am the insane mad scientist, Foreign Kyoma, who has walked through fire and bathed in an ocean of blood to escape the clutches of the organization. My desire is chaos unending. Do you think that destroying the system will bring peace to the world? The answer is no. No, I say. Death to the naive fools who believe such lies. The collapse of authority means that lawless chaos shall reign. Makiseshi? What the hell happened to Okarin? Beats me. He was trading emails with John Titor until he suddenly got quiet. And then he started ranting. He's been like this for half an hour. He's been acting strange all day, don't you think? Agreed. Listen up, lab members. It's time to resume Operation Urd. Seriously? The manager's still downstairs, you know. Fret not. It's almost closing time for the Brawn Tube workshop. The phone wave doesn't work at night, remember? It's worth a try. We need to figure out how late the phone wave, subject to change, works. At the same time, I want to see if the two of you can use emails to change the past. Change the past? Hmm? I still don't believe in the many worlds interpretation or Titor's attractor field theory. Actually, I'm starting to doubt them more and more. If we want to know how the world works, we'll have to figure it out ourselves, and to do that, we need to experiment. One thing I'm sure of is that the mass disappearance in Akiba is related to D-mails somehow, as is the strange disconnect between my memories and everyone else's. To be able to observe convergence. Even so, Kyoma, you may have that power. You might be the one who can guide us to a world line beyond 1% convergence, across the wall that divides what are known as attractor fields. According to Titor, I have a supernatural power, the one I call Reading Steiner. My doubts about Titor's veracity aside, I do need to determine if I am indeed the only person who keeps his memories when the past changes. Change the past to your liking, as long as it's something easy to observe. I'm going back to my hotel. Show me your report on today's experiment tomorrow. Hold it! Who's writing that report? You, of course. This is your operation. And if we could get a report from the subject too, that would be even better. Are you not interested in changing the past? What happened to your eagerness to experiment? Did you forget what I said this afternoon? I'm against it. You were so enthusiastic when we began the experiments. You went along without a single complaint. In your dreams, maybe. You're not being objective, Celebsev. If you're going to correct yourself, at least get it right. We've already performed one experiment. I changed the past. Hey, no fair. Oh, but you were in on it too. But when the past changed, you forgot that it had ever happened. Are you talking about this afternoon? I mean, when you suddenly started asking about the Lotto 6? Exactly. I explained what happened earlier this afternoon. You're not joking, are you? I'm serious. Seriously? Why did everyone else lose their memories? Actually, did everyone else lose their memories? In order to find out, I need them to perform the same experiment. Okay, there's one thing about the past I definitely want to change. Daru is quick to adapt as always. We've known each other for a long time. He trusts me implicitly. Or maybe he's just being faithful to his desires. What? Are you gonna tell yourself to go on a diet? I wouldn't diet even if future me told me to. Daru told me he wanted to change the outcome of the Faris Cup. On that fateful day, Daru faced off against Faris in Rynet Access battlers only to be completely obliterated. A feeling I know all too well. You're gonna change the result? I remember every move Faris Tan made. It'll be easy to take it from behind. Aren't I a genius? Faris is probably too good for that to work. She'll just counter his counter strategy. Whatever. Daru, prepare to demail. Hell yeah, I'll give it my best shot. Daru hunches over and starts typing out the mail, leaving me to input the forwarding address into the phone wave. Name, subject to change. It's from Mayuri. Mayushi won a magazine sweepstakes once. Amazing, huh? You know the hero of Gunban. Setsuri? I won an autograph from his voice actor. I never knew Mayuri was a voice actor otaku. There, that should do it. It's 6:55 PM. No way to know if the phone wave, name subject to change, will operate at this hour. We haven't figured out the exact window yet. So, why do you think you're the only one who remembers? You're awfully persistent. I see why they call you the zombie. I don't follow. Zombies never stop coming. They're persistent. But the joke's I'm serious here. I think that the key is who receives the D-mail. Only the recipient himself is able to retain his memories. That would be my guess. Actually, that hypothesis doesn't explain the mass disappearance in Akihabara. Of course, I still don't have concrete proof that the mass disappearance incident was related to D-mail. We'll never know unless we experiment. After Daru, you'll send the next D-mail. Think about what you want to write. No. I'm not sending one. Scared? That's not it. Then are you worried about time paradoxes? Well, there's that. But it's more like a personal policy. A policy? Changing the past feels like cheating. I may only have 18 years of life experience, but I don't want to change any of those memories. I see. You're perfect now, so you don't want to change. That's not what I said. I don't want to deny who I've been, because even my failures are a part of who I am today. Even if we solved all of the phone wave, name subject to changes problems, you wouldn't use it? Even if John Titus said you could use his time machine to travel to whatever time you wish, you wouldn't use it? Even if a blue robot cat from the future were to jump out of your desk and give you a doorway to everywhere, you wouldn't use it? I wouldn't. But you love experiments, don't you? Something wrong with that? So basically, you like to experiment on other people while you watch and cackle at the results. You truly are a mad scientist. Why you? Done. At Faris Cup, enemy setup. VL, VVL, VLL. I don't get it. Me neither. It's how Faristan placed her cards. Can't you tell? You guys are lame. Well, whatever. Preparations are complete. If this works, the mail will arrive at Daru's phone 52 hours ago. The discharge phenomenon occurs normally. I close my eyes to shield them from the lightning and sparks. The D-mail was sent. Daru should have received it 2 days ago. However, why do I remember? When I sent a D-mail earlier this afternoon, everyone else forgot all about it. If Daru's D-mail changed the past, then the present should have changed too. Daru should be the only one who remembers that he sent a D-mail. Did the past change? Wait, Daru, you remember too? Huh? Remember what? That you just sent a D-mail. Of course I remember. What are you... Oh, I see. According to your hypothesis, you and I shouldn't remember sending the D-mail. Daru, did you beat Faris in the Faris Cup? I don't know. You said the winner gets Faris's home cooking, right? Did you eat it? What happened? I don't know. This sucks. I checked Daru's send history. As expected, the D-mail he just sent isn't there. I do, however, find the D-mail in his inbox. He received it 2 days ago, just like we wanted. Maybe the past hasn't changed. I'll try calling Mayushi. He's the one who changed the past, yet he doesn't remember what happened after the change. That's odd. Mayushi, you're still at work, right? Is Faris-tan there? She is! Can you ask her if I beat her in the Faris Cup? I get to eat her home cooking. Who lost? I did? Oh, it only took 5 seconds? Oh, okay. Daru's shoulders droop as he hangs up the phone. I guess that means the past hasn't changed. Why? It changed for Ocarina, right? Maybe your foolproof plan wasn't so foolproof. Like, maybe it only gave you a slight advantage. I had the same thought. Since Faris-san defeated you anyway, the past didn't change. Yeah, but I mean, the game would have played out differently. That might not be enough to cause worldline divergence. Like Okabe said, you need to make a change that's easier to observe, or else there's no point to the experiment. Not that I approve of this experiment or anything. No, it's not over yet. I can still fight! One more time. I'll try sending my past self some more advice. This time, something that'll ensure my victory. You really want to win that badly? More like he wants to eat Faris's home cooking that badly. That's my final answer. Oh. Nothing happens. No discharge. The timer counts down to 0 without incident. Out of time? Looks like it. But my advice was perfect. There's nothing we can do about it. We'll postpone the experiment till tomorrow. I check the clock. It's just past 7 PM. From Lukaku. Mayuri-chan's obsessed with this anime called Rynet, so I rented it to see what it was about. I don't usually watch anime, and when I do, I prefer romance, but I found this anime to be pretty deep, even though it's aimed at children. I was surprised. P.S. I was so engrossed in Rynet, I couldn't do any practice swings with Samadare. I'm sorry. That's your problem right there. You can't waste your time with romance fluff. If you have that much free time, then practice with Samidare. There, that should do it. Since Kurisu was heading back to her hotel, I decided to accompany her part way to get some dinner. I was up all last night trying to figure it out. How exactly can the phone wave make time travel possible? It works like the LHC. Didn't you say the LHC was like a giant microwave? If every microwave could turn into the LHC, then Japan would have black holes popping up everywhere. I know it looks like CERN is able to create curved black holes willy-nilly, but that's not supposed to be possible. You can't just press a button and make a black hole. Even if you could, the risks would be unthinkable. It's ridiculous to suggest that a household microwave could generate a black hole. Titus' time machine is small enough to fit inside a car, and it makes black holes. Well, that's what he said at least. Now that I'm a little skeptical of Taita, I don't feel like bringing it up. My point is that there has to be something else going on here. Some outside source must be injecting electrons into that microwave. An outside source of electrons. What could it be? Well, I'm going back to my hotel. See you tomorrow. Don't forget to write that report. She was serious about that report. It's from Kurisu. Have you written that report yet? For your information, I wasn't joking yesterday. If you blow this off, then you have no right to call yourself a scientist. Maybe this is too much for a freshman like you to understand, but writing papers is part of being a scientist. If you're so confident in your superiority, then show me your power. There, that should do it. There wasn't anything to do after Kurisu left. Now it's the next morning, and I'm sitting on the bench in front of the Brawn Tube workshop. It's still early, but it's already blazing hot. The Brawn Tube workshop was already open for the day, but no one was inside. Knowing the owner, he's probably off doting on his daughter. We're supposed to be experimenting today, but not a single lab mem has arrived yet. Bunch of slackers. They'll regret ever. Okabe, don't you have anything better to do? Good morning, Mr. Okarin. How many times do I have to tell you? Call me Kiyoma. What should I do, Daddy? What nonsense are you trying to feed my daughter? Have you not properly educated her, Mr. Brawn? This child of yours refuses to call me by my true name. Please do something about it. Who cares? Don't be so picky. Nay, you don't have to listen to what this guy says, okay? Okay. Good morning, Okarin. Ah, Nai's face brightens the moment she hears her voice. Mayuri! Good morning, Nai-chan. Good morning. This is for you, Nai-chan. Enjoy. Thank you. I have some for Okarin too. She offers me some, which I silently accept. Okabe Rintaro, did you talk to Taita? Then suddenly, a bicycle comes racing towards me at full speed. Sup? I'd rather not talk about Taita in the middle of a public street, so I pretend not to hear her. Tuturu, Suzu-san. If it isn't Sheena Mayuri, Tuturu. Like I said, Mayuri gets along with everyone. Come on, you emailed him, didn't you? Yes, but I'm starting to doubt whether he can be trusted. What went wrong? Why is she so flustered? Does it bother her so much that I can't trust Taita? I see. You're a Taita otaku, eh? Oh, well, look, it's Chris-chan. Chris-chan, Good morning. That reminds me, doesn't part-time warrior have something against Kurisu? I look at Suzuha. Her expression has changed dramatically. Her body stiffens as she stares down Kurisu. It's like she's trying to start a fight with her glare. Kurisu's pretty stubborn too, so she makes a show of ignoring Suzuha's glare. For a second, I'm worried that they might start throwing punches, but that doesn't happen. Well, I don't really care about their little quarrel anyway, and the one thing interests me now, the mystery of D-mail. When Daru finally returns, we get to work in the lab. We began experimenting immediately. Even though it's still morning, the electrical discharge occurs on demand. That reminds me, we haven't talked to Mr. Braun yet. But explaining away the noise can wait. For we are at war. War against the organization and CERN, the dark powers that rule the world from the shadows. Anzai-sensei, I want to eat Barastan's home cooking. If you give up, it's game over. Unfortunately, Daru's second D-mail fails to change the past. I get the feeling Rynet matches are difficult to cheat your way out of like this. Alright. So who do we experiment on? From the look on Kurisu's face, I don't think she's willing to change her policy. That leaves only one candidate. Mayuri, it's time for you to change the past. Yeah? Me? Are you sure? But, what should I change? Oh, I know. I'll make Luka-kun wear one of my costumes. How? By sending Luka-kun a mail. I don't think a simple request is going to change the past. Can't you think of anything easier to change and observe? Looks like I'm the only one with ideas. You'll send an email to yourself 1 hour ago. Type, I want to eat canned odin, or something like that. I don't think that's enough to convince her to. Oh, that might work. Yeah? When I went to the vending machine today, I spent 10 minutes wondering if I should get canned odin or canned ramen. It was really hard. So a little push should be enough to make me choose canned odin. Alright, let's go with that. Okay, but before we change the past, I gotta finish this ramen first. What happens if you don't finish it? It'll go to waste. Oh, of course. I get the phone wave, name subject to change, prepped for D-mail. The content of Mayuri's mail is simple enough. I just hope it actually works. To send it 1 hour back, we input 1 hash. In other words, we set the microwave for only 1 second. I wonder if the discharge phenomenon will occur in such a short span of time. That's something else we'll learn from this experiment. Phone wave? Name subject to change. Activate! Oh, I haven't sent it yet. There wasn't enough time to blink. So 1 second isn't enough for the discharge to occur. That's what I expected, but it's good to have proof. What if you try warming it up beforehand? Warming it up? 1 second isn't enough, right? So just run the microwave for about 30 seconds without sending a mail. As soon as it's done, run it again with the timer set at 1 second. That should cause the discharge, right? Any basis for that? Nope. Damn, Mayuri. But anything else? Well, we could change the flavor of rice ball I bought last night. Do you remember what kind of rice ball you ate last night? Smoked tuna. She remembers. Impressive. So let's change that to, fish eggs. Maybe we should find another test subject. It's from Suzuha. Akihabara is such a strange town. Everywhere I look, I see drawings of cute girls. Some of them even have their breasts fully exposed, which startled me. Coming here has been a real culture shock. It's amazing how peaceful Japan is now. I agree. It's all because of the organization's efforts to stupidify Japan. There, that should do it. Wanting to clear my head, I go up to the rooftop. I left Mayuri and the others at the lab. I need some time to get my thoughts in order. I recall what happened when I sent myself the Lotto 6 numbers. The moment I sent that D-mail, I felt a strong tremor, and then the world as I knew it changed slightly. The fact that I had sent a D-mail had been undone. From Hoin Kyoma, buy Lotto 6, sure to win. However, it was in my inbox. The message had clearly made it to the past. What does this mean? The mail was received but never sent. Isn't that a time paradox? Is that the reason why everyone else lost their memories? Why did that happen? Changing the past changed the world. Titus spoke of divergence. When divergence changes, are people's memories reconstructed to match the new world line? Then how come I remember the previous world line even after the past changes? My deliberations are interrupted by an incoming mail. Whatever, I can just reply to it later. However, all these mails. No doubt about it, it's got to be Kiryu Moeka, the male demon known as Shining Finger. There's something wrong with that woman. I sigh and open my mail reluctantly. From Shining Finger. Subject, favor. Can I send a D-mail to Moeka? What? She wants to send a D-mail? That reminds me, yesterday I made Moeka Lab Mem 005. From Shining Finger. Subject, can I? Pretty please, Moeka. That means she's qualified to participate in our experiments. Moeka seems serious, so she might meet my demands. Most importantly, all the other lab mems are completely useless when it comes to D-mails. I still haven't been able to verify whether or not I can keep my memories if someone else changes the past. But wait. Moeka works for an editorial company. In other words, she's related to the media. What if she sends